Sources are telling CNN News 18 that the announcement of the new Chief Minister's name could happen tomorrow. Gujarat BJP Legislature Party meeting to be held tomorrow is what sources are telling CNN News 18. Maria Shakil tracking that story very closely with me on the broadcast. Over to you, Maria. All the details that you have so far.
Yes, so Runima, the details that are emerging is that Bhupendra Yadav, who is BJP in charge of Gujarat, is in Gandhinagar even as we speak. There is Mansukh Mandavia, Mr. Rupala. All of them are present in this meeting that is being chaired by B.L. Santosh, who is the organization secretary of the BJP. And he was the one who communicated to Vijay Rupani that he has to resign and pave way for the new leadership. If you look at the choice of words of Vijay Rupani, he is saying clearly that this is about new urja or new energy that is needed. This could have been one factor that could have gone against Mr. Vijay Rupani. In the last 5 years that he has been the chief minister, he wasn't really seen as someone who had an iron grip over his administration. One thing also important to highlight here is, Arunima, that, when Gujarat goes to polls next year, it would be 10 years after Prime Minister Narendra Modi exited the state of Gujarat. That is the reason why the BJP would want to send that message that they are looking for a new leader, because this is a new generation of voters who would have come in. They would want to ensure that there is a new face who is leading the BJP. The BJP, remember, has been in power in the state of Gujarat since 2001. This is a state that propelled Prime Minister Modi, from the chief minister to the prime minister. He was the one who talked about this Gujarat model of government. The BJP going forward in 2024, Arunima, as we have been discussing also in the context of cabinet reshuffle, they want to ensure that the states that are going to polls starting 2022, which means the 5 states that including the state of Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Punjab, which go to polls in the month of January, February of 2022. And then in the later part of 2022, somewhere around November, December, will be the state of Gujarat and others. The BJP would not want to lose these states. These are the states where they are the incumbent. There is anti-incumbency that the party realizes as well. So how do they really offset that anti-incumbency? They have to come up with newer ideas, newer energy, and perhaps, but does this come as a surprise? Vijay Rupani's exit? Yes, the timing does come as a surprise. Why would a party which is concentrating on retaining Uttar Pradesh invest on a state which is going to polls in the later half of 2022? In fact, towards the last 2 months of 2022. This is BJP's style of functioning, similar to what happened in the state of Karnataka, where B.S. Vijayadurappa was shown the door and Basavaraj Bommai was chosen as his successor.
Right.
As far as the state of Gujarat is concerned, what we are picking up is that there are 2 names that are now the front runners. That is Mr. Mansukh Mandavia. He's, of course, a trusted man of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He was among the very few leaders that the Prime Minister has publicly praised. In fact, when the Prime Minister was the Chief Minister of Gujarat, he went on to praise Mansukh Mandavia and say that unka future bahut bright hai.
Right.
And that is something that, and being given a crucial portfolio such as health, which requires a particular kind of administrative skills, coming at a time when we are staring at an inevitable third wave. But that is, again, that can go against him, because the state of Gujarat is not a bicameral legislature. This would mean that Mansukh Mandavia will have to be elected in the state assembly, which would again mean a bypoll to be conducted. The embarrassment that the party faced in the state of Uttarakhand when they had a member of parliament chosen as the chief minister, and then he had to exit because a safe seat could not be found for the chief minister. Again, what we are being told that R.C. Faldu could be, again, another front runner. What is working for him is that he was the state president in Gujarat when Prime Minister Narendra Modi was the chief minister. He's 64-year-old, comes from the crucial Patidar community, which played an important role, again, which is seen as a deciding community, financially powerful, and also one of the most influential communities, Arunima. And again, let's not forget that 2017, the BJP had it very tough because of the entire campaign that was unleashed by Hardik Patel, who is
Right.
now the Congress president of Gujarat. So the BJP is looking at what is working for each and every candidate. But let's be clear, even as we speculate about a possible successor, the party has chosen the successor much before the exit of Vijay Rupani.
I'm sure, because like we've all been seeing, that's the style of functioning of Prime Minister Modi and his colleagues as well. Myra, thanks for that. I can see Payal Mehta is also waiting on the line. But before I come to you, Payal, just want to recap what Myra has been telling us about the front runners. Who could be the successors for Vijay Rupani? What are some of the names there? The first name that we have heard of in this list of front runners, of course, is that of Mansukh Mandavia, the Union Health Minister. He's a Rajya Sabha member since 2012. He has been praised by the Prime Minister, like Myra was pointing out there. The only catch could be that he's just taken over as the Union Health Minister, a very crucial portfolio here in the centre, and the pandemic is not over yet. Also, he might have to get elected from the legislature there. So that could be a problem for Mansukh Mandavia, appointed as BJP General Secretary in 2015. So that's the first contender that we mentioned to you. He became the youngest Gujarat MLA at the age of 30. Mansukh Mandavia, like I said, young, dynamic, could be the future of Gujarat. The next name, Nitin Patel, current Deputy Chief Minister, belongs to the Patidar community. If caste equations are to be followed, then Nitin Patel is the man who should be in that seat there. Cabinet Minister since 1995. So our old hand as far as Gujarat BJP is concerned. He has been there in the power centre for some time now. Nitin Patel, who's the number 2 in Gujarat at the moment, could be the second contender. He was a front runner for the Chief Minister's post in 2016 as well. Could there finally be sunshine for him? C.R. Patil, Gujarat BJP President, 3-time MP from Navsari. He's the third name that is doing the round there. He's considered as PM's trusted aide. So will the Prime Minister repose his faith in C.R. Patil? Purushottam Rupala, another man who has been brought to Delhi from Gujarat, Union Minister for Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Dairying. Again, somebody who enjoys the confidence of the Prime Minister. Prominent Patidar leader, served as Gujarat Minister, so knows the ropes of administration there, is in sync with the vision of development, Gujarat model, as the Prime Minister and the Bharatiya Janata Party often talks about. Prominent Patidar leader, served as Gujarat Minister, like I said, Purushottam Rupala, the other contender that could succeed Mr. Rupani in that seat of the Gujarat Chief Minister. So we've told you that top 4 contenders there who are from various community. The next name that is doing the round is also of R.C. Faldu, again a Patidar leader, former BJP Gujarat president. He's crucial to BJP's fortune. So we'll have to see if Faldu makes it. But Payal, out of all these names that we have discussed, any dark horse that you would say, knowing how Prime Minister Modi and the BJP really thinks about who should be in that chair?
When it comes to the Prime Minister and the way they function, Arunima, it's best that we don't speculate at all because, obviously they've been known to spring in surprises as well. I was in Gujarat in the year 2016 when, Anandiben Patel stepped down on the pretext of her age being around 75 years of age. And that is when, we had expected, and we had all interviewed Nitin Patel expecting that he would take over as the Chief Minister. But the last minute surprise that actually was sprung in, and you saw Rupani taking over the chair of the Chief Minister. So you can expect a pleasant surprise, as far as that is concerned as well. Like Maria has been pointing out, the party at this point in time would not want another headache. They would want somebody to become a chief minister from within the legislature so that, at least the headache of getting that person elected within 6 months, which might not be an easy thing given the fact that that Gujarat goes into election in 2022 end. But, they have brute majority over there, so that should not really be a problem. But, should we have, a situation when you cannot really have elections and, then obviously you're stuck, with a chief minister who's not basically an MLA, that is a headache that BJP really wouldn't want to have at this point in time. They'll be looking at a couple of very important aspects. Number one, they'll have to look at somebody who's acceptable to the organization and acceptable to the MLAs. They'll also have to look at somebody who has a decent amount of administration experience, given the fact that these are very, very difficult times. You're looking at a third wave of COVID.
Yes.
You're looking at, massive work in that respect as well. And something, a lot of people in Gujarat will tell you that Rupani failed to deliver those goods. He failed to deliver that mark and failed to deliver that he was in control of the situation of COVID in Gujarat as well. And that is one of the reasons multiple times central teams had to be dispatched from here as well. That is where it really stands. And also somebody who would be able to coordinate well between the organization as well as the party. and of course the government, because remember Gujarat is a well-oiled machinery. It's an old organization set up as far as the BJP is concerned. The Prime Minister comes in from there, the Home Minister comes in from there. It's a place which the BJP many would like to say under the present regime would like to take for granted as a state, because that's the state that has elected and brought Amit Shah as well as Modi to power, in the center in 2014 and also now in 2019 as well. So obviously that's where it really, really stands. But it'll be important to see because, obviously since Bhupendra Yadav has already reached, in fact, he was yesterday in Uttarakhand and he's now reached Gujarat. And very interestingly this morning, Vijay Rupani was, sitting in the program that the Prime Minister chaired, the Sardar Dham program. And he was sitting there as a chief minister. Nobody really expected that, in a couple of hours after that, he would step out and go to the governor's house and, submit his resignation. So obviously, it's a well thought of plan. And that's one of the reasons BL Santosh has also been present over there. There are various meetings that are really happening. We're given to understand that the MLAs have been asked to reach Gandhinagar this evening and expected that some sort of a meeting will happen tomorrow, which means after that, just sometime tomorrow evening, you should be able to hear of a name. It is likely to be somebody who's going to be a legislator as well. There are quite a few contenders, including Gordon Zarabian, who's been with the party for a long, long time. He's been in and out of the party, Arunima. But very crucially, he was there at the helm as the Home Minister of the state at a very crucial juncture in 2002. And he's said to have enjoyed the confidence of the Prime Minister because he was given a very crucial responsibility in 2019 in the state of Uttar Pradesh.
Right. Payal, do hold on. I'm also being joined by Geeta Mehta, my colleague from the network. Geeta, मेरे ख्याल से अब आप शायद भारतीय जनता पार्टी के ऑफिस के बाहर खड़ी हैं. थोड़ी देर पहले आप राजभवन के बाहर थी. क्या हलचल है जहां आप हैं इस वक्त? क्या मीटिंग्स का सिलसिला अभी भी चल रहा है?
जी, जैसे ही कार्यकर्ताओं को खबर मिल रही है उस हिसाब से यहाँ पे कार्यकर्ता उमड़ पड़े हैं. खास करके जो एमएलए हैं वो यहाँ पे आए हुए हैं. प्रदेश अध्यक्ष सीआर पाटिल यहाँ पे मौजूद हैं और जो बड़े नेता हैं वो यहाँ पे मौजूद हैं. जहाँ तक मीटिंग की बात है वो कोई ऑफिशियल मीटिंग नहीं चल रही है, मतलब कि पहले से अनाउंसमेंट की हुई मीटिंग नहीं चल रही है, पर ऐसे ही सब आए हैं और सीआर पाटिल से मिल रहे हैं. वैसे एक बैठक जो अनऑफिशियल है